Okay, with multiplying decimals, we have 3 steps, but I'm going to go over them all today. But then after that, if you can show me that you know how to do it correctly without showing me all 3 steps, there's a little bit of a shortcut. Okay? So I'm going to show you all 3 steps today, and then as we practice them, if you do better with them, then you won't have to show me all the steps. Okay, so behind step 1, you are going to multiply the divisor and the dividend by a power of 10. Okay, so we have to multiply divisor and the dividend by a power of 10. When we multiply that by a power of 10, that moves our decimal.
Can you read that again?
Multiply divisor and dividend by a power of 10. So are you always going to multiply it by 10?
No.
No, a power of 10 could mean 10, it could mean 100, it could mean 1,000.
Could it be a million?
Okay, it could, if you have to move the decimal that many places.
Or a billion?
Yeah.
Or 5 million?
Okay, step 2. Under step 2, rewrite the problem using the new numbers. So rewrite the problem using the new numbers. What you do? You okay? So first step again, we multiply the divisor and the dividend by power of 10. We rewrite the problem using the new numbers. And step 3, I will in a second, Krista. Divide, find the quotient. Alright, so step 1 again. Multiply divisor and dividend by power of 10. Step 2, rewrite the problem using the new numbers. And step 3, divide, find the quotient. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so step 1, 2, and 3.
Can you read a book?
Number 2, rewrite the problem using the new numbers. Step 3, divide, find the quotient. Step 3 was divide, find the quotient. Okay, everybody have all 3 steps? Quotient is Quotient.
I was trying to sharpen my pencil and then I tried to take that part off, but I didn't. That's on my finger now, and I didn't fix that.
You okay?
It hurts when I write.
Alright, let's look at the example. So on the example, I have 32.75 divided by 2.5. So step 1 says I have to multiply the divisor and the dividend by power of 10. So what is the number that has the most digits behind the decimal? 32.75. How many places behind the decimal do I have? 2. So what do you think I'm going to multiply by? No, I have to do a power of 10.
5.
So am I going to multiply by 10, 100, 1,000, 10,000, 100,000? Okay, and 10 is only one number behind the decimal.
100.
100. So I'm going to multiply this by 100, and I'm going to multiply this one by 100. It's just 100 on each of them, Krista. Okay, so this is where the shortcut happens. Because I'm moving this, or multiplying it by 100, all I'm doing is I'm moving that decimal 2 places. Because how many zeros do I have? I have 2. So my answer is now going to be 3,275. Whenever you multiply by 100, you move that decimal that many places, how many zeros there are, to the right. So the answer is 3,275. So what do you think the next one's going to be?
100 and 225.
What do you think, Jessiel? You're close. Not 205, Kinsey? 250, good. Why is it 250 and not 25? Okay, if I'm starting it here and I'm moving it 2 times, if I move it once, that gives me 25, but I have to move it twice, which means I have to add a 0. Okay, so now, instead of working with these 2 numbers, I'm working with my answers for that. So I'm now working with 3,275 divided by 250. Got that written down, Krista? So 3,275 is in the inside. 3,275 divided by 250. I cannot. Why don't you move closer if you can't see? Okay, I can't zoom it in. How many times does 250 go into 3? 0 times. How many times does 250 go into 32? 0 times. How many times does 250 go into 327?
12.
How many times? Well, 12 times 250 is going to be a lot more than 327. You can't just look at 25, Adrian.
11.
You have to look at 250. That's not on your multiplication chart. So how many times is it going to go in? 1 time, which gives me 250. So subtract. 7 minus 0 gives me 7. 2 minus 5. Can't do it, so I got to borrow. It becomes a 2. That becomes a 12. So 12 minus 5? 7. 2 minus 2? 0. Bring down my 5. So now I'm going to take 250 into 775. So how many times do you think?
3.
Okay, let's check 3. What's 3 times 25? 75, so that's going to work. So I have 750.
What's the top bottom? Right next to it.
Krista, if you can't see, you need to move up. Okay?
5
5 minus 0 gives me
5.
5. 7 minus 5? 2. 7 minus 7? 0. Alright, but remember at the beginning, we moved that decimal because we multiplied, which put that decimal at the end of the number. Okay? So since I still have numbers down here, I have to add a 0 and bring that down, which means I also have to add my decimal to my answer. So how many times does 250 go into 250? 1 time. So minus 250 gives me 0. So my answer is, careful, 13.1. Okay, don't forget that decimal point. It's going to make a huge difference in your answer. Okay? Let's take back out your, let's go to our journal, or the topic. We gotta go to the front. What's today's date? So 9/8. What did we do today? Divide decimals. What page were we on? No, 9. Because it was the same thing as multiplying decimals. Okay? Now you need out your spiral notebook again. We're going to go through some practice problems. What? My Anna had blue. I don't know if you saw that. You saw the blue, Anna? Okay. In your spiral notebook, open to a new page. And let's try 6.15 divided by 5. 6.15 divided by 5. Hey, so with this, since this number that I'm dividing by does not have a decimal, I don't move my decimal. Okay, so I'm going to set it up as a normal division problem. So what number is going to go on the inside? 6.15. What's going to go on the outside? 5. Okay. Since there's no decimal out here, my decimal here is going to go straight up to my answer. Adrian, let's get going. How many times does 5 go into 6? 1 time. So I'm going to put my 1 up there, which gives me 5. 6 minus 5? 1. Now what do I do? Bring down my 1. 5 into 11? 2 times, which gives me 10. 1. Bring down my 5. 5 into 15? 3 times. So my answer should have been 1.23. Alright? So did anything about regular division change there? No, the only thing we added was that decimal point had to go straight up to the answer. Alright, so when no decimal outside, your decimal goes straight up. Clara, are you paying attention? Let's try a little bit harder one. 1.68 divided by 0.8. Yes? Huh?
Rewrite.
Not yet. We haven't gone over one like this. You don't know how to do it.
I know how to do
If you know, you can do it, but make sure you know how to do it correctly. Hey, what number is going to go on the inside?
168.
1.68. What's going on the outside?
0.8.
0.8.
But
So
you move the
since,
decimal.
how many times do I move it?
1 to the end.
One time. Since there's a decimal here, I move this decimal one time. How many times do I move this decimal? If I move this one, one time. I have to keep them equal. Whatever I move this one is how many I have to move this one. This is the only number that can't have a decimal.
Yeah.
Okay? So now I'm going to rewrite this. Do you agree that 8 point is the same thing as 8?
Yeah.
So I'm going to rewrite it as 8, and we're dividing it into 16.8. A little bit easier to read. That's when we were talking about that step 2 of rewriting it.
I didn't do that one.
Okay? Take your decimal straight up. 8 goes into 1,
No.
0 times. 8 into 16. Twice, which gives me
16.
16. I get a 0. Bring down my 8. 8 into 8. One time, which gives me 8. So I have 0 left over. So my answer was 2.1.